One of the most important parts of the Star Wars mythos is the Force. The Force is essential to any discussion on the series, and we experience it so much without ever truly knowing what it is, as Obi-Wan states himself in 1977's Episode 4, A New Hope.
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
And while it's true that the prequels did give us an explanation for how the Force works, explaining that midichlorians enable a person to use the Force,
midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
When you look at what the Force actually is, the Force actually has more in common with the spiritual than it does the supernatural. The Force shares many similarities with Taoism, a Chinese philosophy based on the writings of Lao Tzu, advocating humility and religious piety. Taoism revolves around the idea of the Tao, often translated as the way of the world, and is the ultimate creative principle of the universe, the source and end of all things. In essence, just like the Force, the Tao is what binds all things in the universe together. Tao can be understood in three ways: as the nature of the universe, your true essence, and the way to lead your life. The same way the Star Wars mythos has the users of the Force, the Jedi and the Sith, portray good and evil, light and dark, Taoism uses the yin and yang to portray this. This philosophy was described in the Tao Te Ching, the central Taoist text ascribed to Lao Tzu, as when people see things as beautiful, ugliness is created. When people see things as good, evil is created. Being and non-being produce each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short define each other. High and low oppose each other. Fore and aft follow each other. And this itself is reminiscent of the code of the Jedi Order, which states, there is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. And what's important to know is that neither yin nor yang are absolute. Nothing is completely yin or completely yang. Instead, each aspect contains the beginning point for the other aspects, similarly to how the light and dark sides of the Force often fade in to one another. The tension between yin and yang creates qi, or life energy. Qi is found in all things, but particularly living creatures. And according to Taoist legends, the commanders of qi, known as the Qigongs, can achieve spiritual enlightenment and longevity, as well as a closer connection to the natural world, with these abilities granted through meditation and self-cultivation to the Tao. This can go as far as some believing that the qi enables those who command it to be able to move objects using the qi, similarly to a Jedi's telekinesis, as we see Yoda explain to Luke here in The Empire Strikes Back.
For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us.
And then subsequently demonstrates this when he pulls the X-Wing out of the swamp. And to better understand how the Force relates to Taoism, we have to look at what's known as the Day. The concept of the Day is one of the most fascinating in Taoism. Day is usually translated as inherent character, inner power and integrity. Day is acting in a way consistent with the Tao. It's not just acting naturally like an animal, instead acting with a conscious awareness of the way that the Tao works. The idea here is that everything in the universe naturally manifests the Tao, but we humans often try very hard to do things that aren't necessarily consistent with the workings of the Tao. As stated in the Tao Te Ching, the way of heaven is like bending a bow. The high is lowered, the low is raised. The excessive is reduced, the deficit is increased. The way of heaven takes from those who have too much and gives it to those who do not have enough. The human way is different. It takes from those who do not have enough and gives it to those who have too much. Day is the active expression of Tao, in a sense that the day results from an individual living to the workings of the Tao. Now, this is reminiscent of how a Jedi should regard the Force, as something that is everywhere and ever flowing, and that by living by the code of the Jedi, one can live to the workings of the Force. Another expression in Taoism that mirrors that of Star Wars is the Wu Wei. Wu Wei may be the most misunderstood of all the ideas in Taoism, and it's most commonly translated as non-action or inaction, and appears in verses of the Tao Te Ching such as act without doing, work without effort. However, Wu Wei isn't so much about inaction, it's more about the efficiency of action. It's the idea that sometimes the best course of action is no action, the path of least resistance, to let things play out and see where that takes you. As it states in the Tao Te Ching, the world is a spiritual vessel and one cannot act upon it. One who acts upon it destroys it. In short, it is being in harmony with the Tao. And this reminds me of a quote by Basho, which reads, "Sit quietly, doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows by itself." And we see this in these Star Wars films also. Wu Wei is all about feeling the Tao, the same way a Force user feels the Force. Throughout the Star Wars series, those strong in the Force are constantly talking about feeling and embracing the Force. In A New Hope, when Luke is learning how to use the lightsaber for the first time, Obi-Wan tells him, remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him. Like Taoists, the Jedi Knights are taught to pursue action from a calm awareness of their surroundings with strength that flows through the Force.
You must feel the Force around you. Here, between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere.
And in the opening scene of The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon tells Obi-Wan,
Be mindful of the living Force, young Padawan.
And the Force is a living concept in the Star Wars series, much like Tao is a living concept in Taoism. Like the Force, you can feel the Tao, and from this flows your strength, the strength of spontaneous, harmonious action. As stated in chapter 37 of the Tao Te Ching, the Tao never does anything, yet through it, all things are done. It's evident that George Lucas and the team behind this beloved series blended together a variety of inspirations when creating Star Wars, and they openly admit this. However, while it's more well known that Star Wars drew inspirations from films such as Flash Gordon, it's also clear that Lucas took the ideologies and philosophies from across the globe to really construct the incredibly expansive world. And it's evident that Taoism played such a huge inspiration in creating the Force. And while the title call of each Star Wars movie may say in a galaxy far, far away, it's clear that the deeper meanings and ideas that Star Wars presents are probably more close to home than we could imagine. Thank you so much for watching this video essay on Star Wars and its relationship with Chinese philosophy and Taoism. This was definitely one of the most out there videos I've ever had to research, and it was an absolute pleasure to learn all this new and interesting stuff. If you enjoyed this video and you want to know a little bit more about the philosophical and psychological connotations that Star Wars has, my good friend Nick did a great video over on POPBOOM discussing the relationship between Star Wars and the individuation process in human psychology. I'll leave a link to that down below me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and stay up to date for all your weekly comic book, movie and TV related video essays coming to you soon here on the channel. And follow me on Twitter at OwenLexComics. There won't be a video next week, but the following week we'll be back with a brand new video essay straight to you. So until next time, take care, keep reading.